Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want to follow me when I'm not on YouTube, do me a big favor. Get yourself down in the description box and click on that Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram link. Give me a follow and then send me a DM to let me know that you're rocking with me. I really would appreciate that. So then I can say thank you. So do me that big favor, get down there, click on that Instagram link and give me a follow. Guys, we got a lot to cover. We're gonna talk about these Fed rate cuts that's getting ready to happen ASAP. And then we're gonna talk about the fake news yesterday. Yep. A lot of fake news yesterday about artificial intelligence, these chip makers, this geopolitical concerns that, President Trump mentioned about Taiwan and President Biden talking about, they're going to put tighter restrictions on exports. All of that was fake news, guys. All of that was propaganda to propagandize us, to scare us, to sell off our Nvidia shares, to sell off our shares in other semis, right? In an effort by the 1% to do what? Manipulate us and get rich. They want us to do what? They want us to sell when we really should be buying, and they want us to buy when we really should be selling. It was all manipulation yesterday. We're going to talk about that on the back half of this conversation. So stick around. Yeah, man, it was brilliant. It was brilliant on the part of the 1%. Brilliant. I mean, they orchestrated it, guys, to the T. I mean, man, what hype was. President Trump said this. They're not going to protect Taiwan. And all along, guys, we're in a partnership with Taiwan. Can you believe this crap? Guess what, though? It was propaganda by who? The 1%. And they dropped it in the news media because they know that's what we watch. And they knew it would freak us out and create a sell-off. So you got short positions against a lot of the stocks in, the AI revolution, especially semis, right? Chip makers. Right? You got a lot of short positions against these stocks, specifically Nvidia. Big short positions. So what do they do to make money? They got to drive the stock price down. So what do? They drop propaganda. And yesterday was perfect. You got President Trump saying stuff. You got Biden saying stuff. What a perfect opportunity to fool us. And that's exactly what they tried to do. Now, good news is a lot of us didn't fall for it. We bought the dip. I certainly did. I picked up 3,650 shares of Nvidia. So, yeah, they didn't propagandize me, and I know many of you didn't get propagandized. You bought the dip as well. But, man, what an awesome opportunity for them to try to trick us, right? We'll talk about that, like I said, on the back half. But on the front half of this conversation, we're going to talk about the Fed, and 3 of the Fed officials basically going on record saying, we're ready to cut rates. Effective immediately, basically. We're ready to cut rates. It could be as soon as July. This month, they meet at the end of the month, the 30th and the 31st of this month. And guess what, guys? We may be getting a rate cut. And if it does happen in combination with what? In combination with the earnings report for Q2 for Nvidia coming out on August 15th, You get rate cuts on July 30, 31. Let's say 31, you get a rate cut, 25 basis points, coupled with you get amazing earnings report on August 15th. Guys, we could be going to $200 a share by the end of the year, right? $200 a share by the end of the year. So that's what I'm excited about. Now, as you see, what happened, right? What happened? We had a bad day yesterday, right? Now, you can look at it as a bad day, or you can look at it as a good day, right? You can look at it as a bad day or a good day. I choose to look at it as a good day because I was able to buy the dip. Now, will that opportunity present itself today? It may. It may. Who knows? Who knows? But I do know one thing, and I believe this, that ultimately we're going to be at $200 a share, in my opinion, hopefully prior to year end, right? That's the goal, right? Now, let's cover a couple quick things. Website, www.richardfain.net. Second link down in the description box. Do me a big favor, guys. Go check out the new website. Check out the digital products that could help you get to your financial goals and help you get to wealth, help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, help you get to financial freedom. Check out those 10 fantastic digital products handpicked by me. Also, if you don't mind, consider joining the private mentorship club through the website, and then it'll take you over to the Patreon website where the private mentorship club is housed. We got over 750 folks over there, great people, great community. Some of the information I'm going to cover on the back half and later tonight in my second live stream comes from the community chat out of my private mentorship club. Matter of fact, Mopar, one of the guys on the private mentorship club, dropped some stuff in there that's crazy that I didn't even know about. I didn't even know about it. But these are the type of people you got over there, guys, in that private mentorship club. They're smart people. They're people that are building wealth. They know what they're doing, and we all function as one. It's 750 of us, but we function as one towards financial freedom. And the information he dropped this morning was information that's invaluable because it sets the stage of the whole propaganda, the whole propagandizing in this country that the 1% do to try to trick us. It's crazy, right? So please, guys, consider joining the private mentorship club. It's so much value you're going to get out of that. I'm telling you guys, give it a try. Give it 30 days. If you don't get the value you need, you can send me an email and I'll refund you your money. If you don't get the value you need, I'm telling you guys, it's value over there, right? So check it out. Last thing, and then we're going to dive into these Fed rate cuts. Moomoo, my self-directed brokerage app that I'm going to be using over the next 10 years to quadruple my net worth. Get down in the description box, click on that Moomoo link. They're going to give you up to 15 free stocks when you try out their brokerage app. They're going to give you up to 15 free stocks for free, just trying it out. When you put $100 initially in your account, when you open it, you qualify for 5 free stocks. When you put $1,000 initially in your account, when you open it, you qualify for 15 free stocks, all publicly traded company on our stock exchanges, AKA New York Stock Exchange, Chicago Stock Exchange, on American stock exchanges, public companies, right? You're going to get 15 of them if you put $1,000 in. You're going to get 5 of them if you put $100 in. So if you want to try out Moomoo, get down to the description box, click on the Moomoo link. Also, you get fractional share trading. A lot of you guys on your full service brokerage accounts, they will not let you do fractional share trading. They may let you do fractional share trading on their proprietary funds, their ETFs, that it's their ETF, they'll let you do, but they may not let you do fractional share trading on Nvidia or Apple or Meta or Walmart. You may not be able to do fractional share trading. You may have to buy whole shares. You can do fractional share trading on the Moomoo app. So even if you got a full service brokerage account, you may want to still get a self-directed brokerage account so you can do fractional share trading and make sure every dime you have to invest is invested and not sitting on the sideline until you get a whole share, a whole amount to buy a whole share. So get down there for that. Also keep in mind, we have automatic investing and automatic investing of your dividends as well. So check out that as well. Okay, check out both of those things through the Moomoo brokerage app. Check it out down below, first link. And if you sign up and you're having trouble using it, send me a email through my website, www.richardfain.net, second link down in the description box. Send me a email and let me know you open the Moomoo account and you are looking for the tutorial videos that help you use it. And I will send you those tutorial videos. It'll show you how to do fractional share trading and all the other basic stuff you need to know to operate the app. So send me that email through the website. Let me know you opened it, you funded it, and I'm gonna send you those tutorial videos. Plus, I'm gonna send you 2 extra videos that outline everything that I'm doing and buying in my portfolio. I call it Wealth Transfer Blueprint 1.0 and 2.0. All right, well, let's keep moving. Let's dive into this information. First half of this conversation is going to be on the Fed rate cuts, and then the second half is going to be on the fake news and the propaganda that the 1% tried to pull over our eyes yesterday. They tried to get us. They tried to fool us. Sell out, it's crashing. We were smarter than that. A lot of us were smarter than that, right? And we bought the dip. So here we go. Top Fed officials say they are closer to cutting interest rates. So over this week, we've had three Fed folks, I'm talking about Fed members, who went on record and said, yeah, we're ready to cut rates. In a nutshell, giving y'all my opinion, you can go out and do your own fact check and your own homework, but I'm telling you, these rate cuts are coming, guys, and you better position yourself because things are gonna take off. Things are gonna take off when these rate cuts come. They're gonna take off. So get ready to position yourself. So July 17, this is when it was, which was what? Yesterday? Yeah, I think that was yesterday. Top Federal Reserve officials said on Wednesday, the US central bank is closer to cutting rates given inflation's improved trajectory and a labor market in better balance. What do they mean by that? Labor market in better balance. Well, you no longer have 3 jobs to every 1 qualified candidate. That's out of balance. In balance is when you have 1 qualified candidate and maybe you got 1.5 jobs. That's it. That's in balance. They don't need it out of balance and red hot because that runs up inflation because people keep spending because they're not afraid that they're going to lose a job. And if they do lose one, they got 2 more in the wing to get. So people keep spending, running up inflation. Bringing the labor market in balance is just saying we got 1 job for 1 qualified candidate. That keeps people from spending as much, right? The threat of losing a job and having a hard time finding one will help you stop spending quickly, right? And the Fed knows that. So what they're saying here is inflation is improving, coming down. Labor market is better balanced, 1 job for every qualified candidate. Okay, remarks that set the stage for its first reduction in borrowing costs in September, but I believe they may do it in July. You heard it here first. I could be wrong, but I think there's an opportunity, there's an outside chance, guys, in July, this month, end of the month, we could get a 25 basis points decrease. So here's the first Fed official who's going on record supporting rate cuts. Fed Governor Christopher Waller and New York Fed President John Williams both noted the shortening horizon toward looser monetary policy. All that fancy means is they're closer to cutting rates. That's all that means. And those are 2 Fed folks, right? You got Christopher Waller, he's a Fed governor, and then you got John Williams, who's a Fed president. Right? These people are going on record that shortening horizon, that means getting ready to cut now, right? And monetary policy just means rates. With Waller highlighting it in a speech at the Kansas City Fed and Williams voicing it on Wall Street in the Wall Street Journal interview. So Waller, he was speaking in Kansas City. And he said this at a Fed meeting in Kansas City, whereas Williams went on record saying this in a Wall Street Journal interview, right? So two Fed folks going on record basically saying, yeah, we see enough evidence that we feel like we can start cutting rates. That's good news for the market, guys. Trust me. The market is looking for that type of guidance. That was good news. Separately, here's another one. Here's another one. I'm telling you, these Fed members are starting to come out now supporting rate cuts. Separately, Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin said he is very encouraged that declines in inflation had begun to broaden, right? See, guys, when you start hearing these folks that sit on this Fed committee start talking like this, you know rates coming, rate cuts coming, because they don't normally talk like this. They don't normally talk like this. When they start talking like this, right, very encouraged that declines in inflation had begun to broaden. I'd like to see that continue, he said, a business group, and he was speaking in Maryland. The remarks are the latest in a rush this week of commentary from top U.S. central bank officials, including Chair Jerome Powell, to note their increased confidence that the disinflationary trend that began last year is continuing, despite a short-lived bump in inflation earlier this year. What do they mean by that? The first 3 months of this year, we had a little bit of a slight increase in inflation. But since we got to the second quarter of this year, it's been consistently going down. Also, you got to understand, we got some more evidence that the economy is slowing down. GDP for the first half of the year is under 2%. It's about 1.5%. That's not the healthiest state for our economy, guys. We really need to be at 2% or better. Under 2% is not really healthy for the economy. It should be growing at a faster clip than that, right? On top of that, you got unemployment rate going up. For the last 3 months, it's inching up. 3.9, 4.0, 4.1. So you got an economy that's slowing, right? You got a labor market that's cooling off and unemployment is starting to go up, right? So you don't want to delay rate cuts too much longer, or you could potentially throw us into a recession. You could. And this soft landing that we look for is going to be out the window. The soft landing is where you bring down inflation, but keep the economy healthy. That's a soft landing. That goes out of the window if we go into a recession, because you up here trying to keep rates higher for longer when you should have been cutting. So now you're starting to see these Fed officials start to change their language, right? They're starting to change the language. We're encouraged, right? When you can see it coming. So here we go. Price pressures appear to be easing across the board, the Fed official said, with goods prices falling, housing cost increases slowing, and more moderate wage growth feeding into a long-awaited easing of price increases in the services sector, right? Not a fancy term, because you remember, one of the sticking points for inflation was what? Shelter cost. We just couldn't get it down. Shelter cost is like, it makes up a third of inflation, right? So if you can get shelter costs down, you can get inflation down. And they're saying they can start seeing housing cost increases slowing, right? And another thing that was causing a problem was wages going up. Now you're starting to see what? Wage growth kind of moderating itself. Moderate wage growth. Not this 4, 5, 6% wage growth. No, it's starting to moderate itself. So you got wages coming down where it's moderate. You got housing or shelter costs coming down, right? So now they're starting to think, well, okay, this is the soft landing we're looking for. We want to bring inflation down through interest rates, but we don't want to throw the economy into a recession because of keeping interest rates too high. Let's start reducing, right? So that's where we're at. So Williams and Waller, two Fed guys, right? President, Fed governor, appeared to rule out a rate cut in July. Those two said they tend to rule it out. Do I believe that? No. I don't believe it because listen, I think you got 19 people on the committee, the FOMC committee. I think it's 19. I could be wrong. Somewhere in there. I believe it's 19 people on the FOMC. Listen, you don't need all of them. You need a unanimous, right, to get these rates cut. So yeah, those two guys may not be in favor of it until September, but you got other people on there that may be in favor of it, right? So I don't rule it out. I think we've gotten the evidence we need. I think you got pressures on the Fed from the White House and other places. Now, of course, President Trump is going to come out and say, I don't want rates. I don't see any reason why rates should be reduced. Why would he say that? Because your opponent, if he gets rates reduced, has a one-up on you. He can say the economy's great. I got rates reduced. We're perfect going into the election. President Trump don't want that. So he's going to go on record and say, well, we don't need rates to drop because that works against him to try to get back into the White House. So, of course, he's not going to say he wants rates drop because he wants to be able to campaign and say, hey, we got this terrible economy. We got these sky-high interest rates. That works in his favor to get him back in the White House, right? That doesn't work in Biden's favor. What works in Biden's favor is if he can get these rates starting to come down, then he can go on record and say, listen, guys, we got this super great economy. We got rates coming down. We got inflation coming down. We did this all on my watch. You see where I'm going with this? This is how they propagandize us, right? And to manipulate us into believing whatever they want us to believe. I'm telling you, this is what they do. They manipulate us, the American people, into whatever they want us to believe. Just like I told you about, they manipulated a lot of Americans into selling their stocks yesterday. Just manipulated them. All fake news, all fake. I mean, you got TSMC, got one of the largest freaking semiconductor chip plants in the world in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. But yet and still, Trump comes out on, well, and again, I'm not blaming President Trump. I'm just telling you that the news cycle took what he said and dropped it in this thing to do what? To propagandize us, right? We already got a relationship with the largest chip manufacturer in the world that's building, I think it's a $12 billion plant. And I think $6 billion of that they got from the United States government. So all I'm telling you is propaganda. It's all propaganda to get you to sell your stocks, to get you to sell Nvidia, so that the short sellers and these wealthy people can make money. It's all propaganda. It is. But we'll talk about that in a second. So let's keep moving. We're setting the stage for these rate cuts, right? Like I told you, the FOMC, I believe it's a committee of, I want to say a committee of 19. Let's see. How many people on the FOMC? Okay, I think I'm lying. It says the FOMC consists of 12 members. The 7 members of the Board of Governors. Okay, it says 12 here. So let's say it says 12 members. Now, again, let me just scroll up here. It says 12 members, but then it says something about 7. So that's where I think I got the 19 from. Oh, that's what it is. They got alternate members. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you got, looks like you got 12 FOMC monetary rates, he said, okay, it says you 24 committee members, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you got 12 members and then you got some alternates, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like you got 2, 4, 5 alternates. So you got 12 members and then 5 alternates. So my point is, you know, 2 of them can say whatever they want to say, but you got other members. So keep that in mind. And I'm gonna still hang my hat on, like I said, I'm gonna hang my hat on end of this month. You can hang your hat on what you want to hang it on. I'm gonna hang my hat on end of this month, right? I'm gonna hang my hat on end of this month. So here we go. Separately, Fed President Thomas Birkin said he is very encouraged. We talk about that, right? The remarks are the latest in a rush this week of commentary from top U.S. central bank officials, including Jerome Powell, right? Price pressures appear to be easing. We talked about that. That's good news though, right? So you got Waller and Williams appear to rule out a rate cut in July 30-31. I disagree. I think there may be an outside chance we get a rate cut. So here's what the market thinks. A view reflected in financial markets that are now pricing the probability of a move at that meeting at less than 5%. That's what the market is thinking. I still think that we could be surprised. I'm still optimistic we can get one in July. That's just me though. That's just my opinion. You may disagree. Waller listed September through December as the potential time frame when conditions for a rate cut could be right. Now, I've not heard Waller ever say that. Now he's going on record saying, listen, September through December might be the ideal opportunity. Now, here's the key, though. Even if we don't get it in July, can we still get 3 this year? We can. You got a September meeting. We can have one at the October meeting. I'm sorry, September meeting, November meeting, and then December meeting. So you still got opportunity, guys, for 3 to 4 rate cuts this year, which will catapult the stock market, in my opinion. It will only help the stock market, in my opinion. That's what I think. So certainly can be different, but I'm just giving you guys what I think. Clearly, they're going to do something. Clearly, they're going to do something between September and December. We already know that, right? We got the evidence to support the rate cuts, and I think it will happen. We just got to continue to pay attention and be in position, right? We got to be in position. In his Wall Street Journal interview, Williams said we're actually going to learn a lot between July and September. We'll get 2 months of inflation data. All 3 policymakers who spoke on Wednesday were pointing to September for a start to the policy easing. Financial markets agree, and on Wednesday kept bets the U.S. Central Bank, which has held its policy rate at 5.25 to 5.5 range for the past year, will cut borrowing costs again in November and December, bringing the benchmark rate to 4.5 to 4.75. So 75 basis points to 100 basis points this year. Guys, that would be incredible. It really would be incredible. It would be incredible. So that's what I'm thinking. And if that happens, along with the 2 earnings reports that'll happen this year, you got one coming for Nvidia in August, and then you got another one coming a little later in the year. I think, personally, because you got August, September, October. So in November, they will have the Q3. In November, they'll have Q3 earnings report. In August, they'll have Q2. Both of those earnings report, in my opinion, will go to the moon. They're gonna beat all expectations, because why? They already got 40,000 units of the Blackwell ready to go, and they cost $3 million a piece. Now, I know somebody gonna argue that they don't in the comments and all this goofy stuff. Whatever, you believe what you want to believe. My YouTube channel, I'm gonna believe what I want to believe and give my opinion. right? My opinion is, based on the research I've done, the stack is $3 million a piece. And they got 40,000 units getting ready to ship out later this year. Estimate about $200 billion in revenue with about 75 billion in profit. That's all I'm telling you guys. So you got those two catalysts, and then you got the rate cuts. You got those two earnings reports for Nvidia, and then you got these 1% to 0.75% rate cuts. Those all rolled up together, I believe we can get to $200 a share by the end of this year. That's what I believe. You guys have to figure out what you believe. Drop them down in the comments. But ultimately, at the end of the day, guys, you got to put yourself in some type of position, right? You got to be in a position to order to take advantage of this. If you're not in a position to take advantage of it, what good is the information? It's no good. So please put yourself, guys, in a position to take advantage of this information. Please do. Please put yourself in a position to take advantage of this information. So let's do this here. Let's take a look at what's going on in the stock market, and then we're going to cover the smoke screen yesterday that the 1% tried to run on us. And for a lot of us, especially people in my club, private mentorship club, they couldn't run the game on us because we knew it was an opportunity to buy the dip. We knew that. Like I told you, I picked up 3,650 shares yesterday. So they didn't fool me. And they didn't fool a lot of people in my private mentorship club that picked up shares that were discounted and on sale. And I believe today it still continues to be on sale. Now it's slightly in the green, but it's still on sale, guys. It's still $118 a share. So for anybody out there that likes Nvidia, right, who likes the progress of this company over the last 24 years, and love the position that they're in, being the number one in their niche, their AI niche, they're number one. They're a $3 trillion market cap company. They got some of the biggest customers in the world in the Magnificent Seven that are customers of theirs. They got all these innovative products that they already got lined up. They got one coming out, Blackwell, I already told you all about that, but they got the Rubin coming out in 26. They already got the H100, the H200. So guys, they got a product lineup that's incredible. And I've already told y'all where they buy their chips from is this company in Taiwan, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. That's where they buy, that's the largest foundry in the world. That's where they buy a lot of their chips. We dropped the propaganda yesterday that the United States government may not protect Taiwan from China. China wants to do something to Taiwan. China thinks Taiwan belongs to them, the territory. It belongs to them. That's what they think. And again, propaganda. They took something that President Trump said and dropped it in the news cycle to scare everybody. They took something that President Biden said and dropped it in the news cycle to scare people. When all along they knew TSMC has a relationship with the United States and has had it for a long time. If you go look at the article that one of my guys over on the private mentorship club dropped in the community chat, you'll see that the Trump administration had a relationship with these people in 2019. Yeah. Also, you'll go on to see that TSMC has a huge manufacturing facility that's coming out of the ground and damn near through with construction in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to create a lot of jobs. Well, of course, they're going to bring people over from Taiwan, and they're going to couple them with people that live here in America. And they're going to have one of the largest facilities in the world. But see, they didn't drop any of that yesterday, did they? Nobody dropped that in the news cycle yesterday, did they? Nobody said anything about this whole geopolitical thing that we already got a relationship with the largest foundry, chip-making foundry in the world. We already got a relationship with them here in the United States. They got a facility in Phoenix. Nobody said that. Why? They didn't want you to know that. All they wanted you to think was, oh my God, let me get my money out of these stocks. President Trump is saying he ain't gonna protect them if he get in the White House. President Biden says he gonna tighten up restrictions on exports. That's all they dropped in the news cycle though. They didn't say nothing else. Why? Because they knew the average investor, the retail investor, would panic and then turn into do what? Panic sell. And what does that do for the rich who are short in this stock with the tune of $25 to $30 billion in short positions? They win when the stock price comes down. That's it, guys. It's all manipulation. It's all propagandizing you using the mainstream media. Who controls the mainstream media? 1%. Good news for those of us that understand that we bought the dip. So we didn't fall into this. Even though a lot of us might have been unsure what was going on, a lot of us understand and have been listening and are part of the mentorship club where people are constantly dropping stuff in the community chat. So if you're over there and you're a person that's concerned, you see all this stuff in the live feed in the community chat. So you're like, oh, okay, that's what's happening. They're trying to propagandize us. They're trying to trick us. I'm buying a dip. But if you out here in the matrix with nobody helping you and you just out here on your own thinking I'm getting ready to lose my life savings, you're going to probably panic sell. You're going to probably get out of those positions because you think what they dropped in the news cycle is really what's happening when that's not really what's happening. I'm not going to say it's a lie. I'm just telling you they put the information in there without putting all the information in there. Had they put that information, but also put the article or something to the tune of TSMC is already in partnership with the United States. They're already building a big old chip manufacturing factory in Phoenix, Arizona. See, nobody said that in any of the feeds yesterday, did they? Why? Who didn't want them to put that in the feeds yesterday is what you got to be asking yourself. Who did not want them to put that in the feed yesterday, in the news feed, in the financial news feed? The 1%. They didn't. Who controls the media? The 1%. See, this is what I tell you in the matrix over here. You don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance in the matrix. You just don't stand a chance, guys. You got to get yourself out of that matrix and understand the manipulation tactics that they use in the stock market to keep you afraid. What does Warren Buffett always say? Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. See, yesterday, it was a lot of fear. That's when you be greedy. And a lot of us were greedy. I know I was greedy yesterday because I know it was fear, panic, turmoil, and that's the perfect time to buy. And I did. And a lot of the folks that watch me on the YouTube channel and a lot of the folks in my private mentorship club brought. The good news is you still got an opportunity today to make a move, if that's what you want to do. I'm not your financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do. You do whatever you feel like is best for you and your family. But if you're looking to build wealth and you're looking for big boy blue chip companies and you're looking for the hottest industry on the planet right now, which is artificial intelligence, that's the hottest industry in the planet. Now, tech is the industry, but a subset of tech is artificial intelligence. Hottest thing on the planet right now. Look at all the companies in that niche. Hot. But there's a need for it. Why in the world would the United States give Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company $6 billion? Basically grants. Why would they give it to them? Because they want to bring production. They want to bring manufacturing here to the United States. Now, I read an article a few months ago where President Biden was partnering with Samsung to do the same thing. And I believe this one's going to be in Dallas. They're building another big old chip factory in Dallas with Samsung. Another foreign company. Samsung ain't here. They sell product here, but I'm just saying it's a foreign entity that they're partnering with to build this chip factory in, I believe it's somewhere in Texas. I read the article a few months ago. They're partnering with Samsung, and they're giving them a bunch of money. Remember, The Biden administration came out with this CHIPS Act, right? They came out with this CHIPS Act. I believe it was $54 billion deal where they were going to be bringing chip making back to the U.S. And that's what you're starting to see, guys. But what they didn't tell you yesterday, they didn't tell you any of that, did they? No, they didn't tell you none of that. All they did was just drop what President Trump said about Taiwan in the news cycle, in the financial news cycle, without really clarifying that Trump has already, his administration had a relationship with TSMC back in 2019. They already had a relationship with them. So I just need y'all to understand the propaganda, guys. That's all. It's all geared towards keeping you off balance. It's all geared towards getting you to sell when you should be buying, getting you to buy when you should be selling. It's all predicated on that, guys. Again, why in the world would Nancy Pelosi buy 10,000 shares of Nvidia just 2 weeks ago? She ain't sold it. She still got it. Why? See, it tells you right there something ain't adding up. Something is not adding up. This lady knows something that we don't know. She do. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. So here we go. Let's talk about a little bit about what's going on in the market today. The NASDAQ composite advanced Thursday as the tech-heavy benchmark looked rebound from its worst session since 2022. Benchmark looked rebound from its worst session since 2022. The index rose by 0.5%, while the S&P 500 added 0.4%. The Dow climbed another 124 points. So the Dow is killing it. It's killing it, right? The Dow was over 41,000 points yesterday, highest it's ever been. But yet and still, we got problems. No, we had an artificial problem created in the tech space so that short sellers and the rich could make money. Because if we had a stock market problem, all of them would have been down, in my opinion. So that was a market behavior, not business performance yesterday. It was all market behavior by the 1% trying to manipulate the market, which they do. They manipulate the stock market all the time. And I've told you guys that. The 1% manipulates the stock market all the time to make money. That's why I tell you, you got to follow them because they're going to tell you what's happening. If you follow them, you'll know what's happening, right? All you had to do was look at the short positions yesterday on Nvidia and you could see what was happening, right? So these moves come after the NASDAQ tumbled 2.8% in its worst day since December 2022 on Wednesday, closing below 18,000 for the first time since July 1. Tuesday's trading offers a respite from recent days, with Wall Street shares of artificial intelligence plays as the growing likelihood of a September interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve bolstered optimism in the broader market. That's particularly helped small cap and more cyclical names, which are seen as bigger beneficiaries and lower borrowing costs. All smoke screens. That's a smoke screen too. I get it. Yep, some of them have rotated out, but that's all smoke screen, guys. That's my opinion now. That's my opinion. Because even with rates coming down 75 basis points, that's not going to be enough to get 30-year fixed rate mortgages down to where people can afford them. 30-year fixed rate mortgages have to be 5% or below, guys, in order for that to really affect the housing market. They got to be 5% or below. There can't be no 6.5, 6.75, and you think you're finna get 100 million. It's not gonna happen. They got to be 5% or lower. That's when you're gonna see the real power of the housing market pick up, when they go below 5%. But at 7%, 6.75, 6.5 even, you might get a bump, but you're not going to get the real demand until they go below 5%. And they're not going below 5% this year. Now, Could they go below 5% next year if we get enough rate cuts? Absolutely. Absolutely, they could later on in 25, but not right now. I don't think so. Not right now. So let's see. So Thursday's trading offers a respite from recent days where Wall Street shares of artificial intelligence plays as the growing likelihood of a September interest rate cut. Federal Reserve bolstered optimism in a broader market. That's particularly helped small cap and more cyclical names, which are seen as bigger beneficiaries, a lowering borrowing costs. This explains why the mid-cap focused Russell 2000 has jumped more than 9% in the last 5 trading days. The benchmark rose 0.9 in Thursday's session as investors further bought into these names. By comparison, the Nasdaq has slipped more than 3% in the same period despite Thursday's bounce. Wednesday also marked the first session since 2001 where the Nasdaq posted a loss exceeding 2.5%. So, do I believe all of that? No, I don't. Can some of these companies rotate into small caps? Yeah. But here's the thing, unless 30-year fixed rate mortgages rates get under 5%, and again, you're talking about, even if you're talking about non-real estate loan rates, let's just say we're talking about the prime rate. We already know the prime rate is 3% higher than the Fed funds rate. So even if the Fed take the Fed funds rate, let's say we take the Fed funds rate from 5.5 to 4.75, you still got a prime rate of 7.75, guys. You think that's better than, yeah, it's better than an 8.5% prime, but it's still super high. I mean, you're talking about 7.75, and you only get that rate if you got pristine credit. You get prime plus 0. Most lenders are not going to give you money at prime plus 0 because they want to make money. They're going to give you at prime plus 1, prime plus 2, prime plus 3. Go apply for an equity line right now and see what your bank tell you. It's going to be prime plus something. So them bringing rates down, Fed funds rate down 75 basis points is not going to be helpful right away, in my opinion, in the mortgage, home purchase mortgage rate industry. And it ain't going to be that helpful in the installment loan industry either, because rates are still going to be skyrocket high. So here's the thing, rotating out, going in cyclical names that benefit off lower rates. What's that? Name some companies. Name some companies that benefit off lower rates. I don't know. I don't know no big companies that do. Maybe it is, but it's all smokescreen to me, man. I don't believe none of it. I think it's all propaganda. I do. I think it's all propaganda. I think that the 1%, they use the media to manipulate the stock market. And if we're not smart enough to know that, we get caught up in it. A lot of people have sold out of their positions prematurely, in my opinion. Now, could they just bounce back in? Yeah, they could. Because right now, we're still in a period where it's still on sale, right? Now you got Nvidia back down again to 116.70. So you still got opportunity to buy and do whatever you want to do, right? It's down to 116. So the sell off continues. But I keep telling you guys, it's temporary. I'm telling you, in my opinion, I'm not your financial advisor. I can't tell you, what you need to think, but it's all manipulated. You got these short sellers out here. They're doing everything to manipulate you to think the world's finna fall in, especially on Nvidia, because that's the one they know that's where the money to be made, because they know wherever Nvidia goes, this AI goes, and every company associated with it. It all starts with Nvidia. So they're going to do everything in their power to run the stock price down on Nvidia. And then what'll happen? It's going to go to the moon when they've had enough and those earnings come out. See, this is the game plan, guys. Until those earnings come out, they know they got to do everything in their power to crush this stock before them earnings come out. Because once the earnings come out, it's over for them. It's over. You can short it all you want to when they come out with triple digit everything. You're going to lose. So right now, the game plan is to make as much money as they can shorting the stock until they can't short it no more, or at least until earnings come out. So they got another couple of weeks before the end of the month. So they're going to do everything in their power to propagandize and put all kind of crap out on financial news in the media to get us to think this is the wrong way. Get out of it. Get out of it. Sell, sell, sell. Nancy Pelosi ain't sold yet. Why she ain't selling? She got 10,000 shares. Why ain't she selling? Why she ain't selling? Why haven't I seen any other Wall Street firm who has gave this company, 160 per share target price, 200 target price, 250 target price? Why is every single analyst has this as a strong buy if it's a crappy company is going to zero? Why ain't nobody came out and said, oh guys, listen here, this is not a buy, this is a sell? Why haven't we seen that yet? I don't know. Why haven't we seen a flood of Wall Street firms, big boys, come out? Bank of America's, the Wells Fargo's, the UBS's, the JP Morgan Chase, the Goldman Sachs. Why haven't we seen them come out and say, hey guys, this thing's going to zero? You haven't seen that yet. You're not going to see it. Why? Because it's not business performance. This is all manipulation. This is all market behavior manipulation. That's all it is. Please don't get caught up in that. Now, if you believe it's time for you to get out, then get out. Because it's your financial freedom. It's your money. It's your family depending on this. So don't listen to me. Get out when you feel like you need to get out. But for as me and mine, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to keep buying. So if it get down to 115 a day, I'm buying another 1,000 shares. I'm going to keep buying, because until Nancy Pelosi sells hers, I ain't selling mine. I ain't going to do it. This lady knows something. And matter of fact, she was a part of all these negotiations with TSMC. Nancy Pelosi was. She done had meetings with these people. She done been all over there to Taiwan, everything. See, they don't tell y'all all that. They didn't tell you all that yesterday in the news feed, did they? Because they don't want you to know that. That's why I'm telling you, this lady knows something we don't know. These other people who are big time putting money in this company through stock, they know something we don't know. Now, again, you got these short sellers out here trying to make money, and they're going to do everything they can, guys, leading up to them that earnings call, this earnings report, to put out all kind of propaganda to short this stock and make money and drive this stock price down. They're going to continue to do it. And right now, they're succeeding. Let's give it to them. They're making a bunch of money off of this stock going down from where it was last week to where it's at today, which is 116.75. They are making a killing right now. And it likens, at least the way I see it, the same way they shorted Tesla in 2022. This is what it looks like. This is exactly what it looks like to me. The same way they shorted Tesla, beat it all the way down to $104 a share, and then boom, Tesla came back. Now, how in the world you do that and just come back? You same company. They made $15 billion shorting Tesla stock. Investors made $15 billion shorting Tesla stock in 2022. $15 billion. How much you think they're going to make in 2024 shorting Nvidia stock? They're going to make a lot, guys. But I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm going to stay my course. I'm going to play my game, which is a long, traditional, long-term investment game. And as long as, like I said, Nvidia doesn't show any signs of decline when it comes to business performance, I'm going to stay in the stock. Right? I'm going to watch it. We'll keep monitoring it. It may continue to get beat up these next few days. But as we get closer to those earnings, Q2 earnings, you're going to start seeing things change. But they're going to beat it up until as long as they can, guys. They're going to beat the whole industry up if they can. Because there's money to be made. And anytime there's money to be made and people to be manipulated, it's game on. And right now, that's what they're doing. They got a big manipulation campaign going right now through the mainstream media. Big manipulation campaign. And started with, like I said, with the information that came out yesterday from President Biden and President Trump. They just dropped that in the financial news cycle. Like it's, oh, this is brand new. No, man. Both of these gentlemen got relationships with these people, man, in Taiwan. TSMC got a big old facility in Phoenix. So how you get a big old facility like that and get $6 billion from the US government to build it, but you got bad relationships with them? Just propaganda, man. But this is what's happening to drive down the stock, to scare people, to put fear in their hearts so that they sell prematurely. The more people sell out of this thing, the more the stock goes down. Now, this morning, it started off pretty decent. It was up. Now, all of a sudden, boom, we ain't even 2 hours into trading, basically 2 hours into trading, and it's back down again, getting hammered. So you got to think about it. Is this worth me putting my money into and waiting on this thing to recover? Now, it could get beat down a little bit more, guys. Who knows? It just depends on the propaganda and how many people sell out. It is what it is. All this bull crap about rotating out and going to these small, I don't believe none of that. I don't believe any of that. That's all bull crap, in my opinion. Excuse my language, but I don't believe none of that. All this they're rotating out and going into, what companies is that? The rates ain't came down yet. Now, I know you can position yourself, right? You get into these companies early before they go to the moon. I get that. I know that's part of it, guys. And I'm not saying some companies aren't doing that. I know that's a possibility. But what I'm telling you is, I don't know what industries are going to benefit from just a 25 basis, a 25 basis point bump when rates are as high as they are. These companies ain't borrowing money at 5.5, guys. That's what banks borrow money from each other at. Banks borrow money at 5.5 Fed funds rate, not some Joe Blow company. They don't know. So I don't understand. What rate sensitive industries benefit from that? It's one thing if the Fed was getting ready to reduce by 300 basis points. Then I could see, but you're reducing by a quarter in September. Who gonna benefit from that? Now, I guess they could say optimism, FOMO. Let's drive up these companies and put excitement in people and they'll invest in them early. Yes, the more people invest in these interest rate sensitive companies, anticipating rate cuts, and they start investing in them now, yeah, that will run the stock up. So maybe that's the game plan, right? Maybe that's the game plan of some of these Wall Street companies is to, let's go invest in these companies and let's pump them up. And then once we pump them up, we make money, we'll dump them. And then we can roll back into tech. So again, that's a great strategy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And at that level, that probably is the strategy. We've made all our money we wanted to make. Let's dump these techs for right now. And then let's go get these interest rate sensitive companies. Let's invest in them. We'll pump them up with propaganda and have everybody come buying them. And then we'll dump them, right? And then we go back into tech again. That's just how it works, guys. What you got to understand is most of us can't do that. Most of us, we just have to figure out what we want to do from a traditional standpoint. Now, if you're a vet and you're savvy and you know how to move around the stock market and find these companies and invest early and get out at the right time, I'm not that good. I can't do all that. I'll end up losing all my money trying to be that guy. I'm not that guy. So if there is a guy or a gal you can go follow that can teach you how to do that and you win, go get it. I'm not that guy because I can't win at that game. I can't be around here trying to figure out what interest rate sensitive companies are going to be the ones that win. I mean, how you gonna know that? You know what I'm saying? It's just smoke screen, man. But nobody named a company yet. I don't know any interest rate sensitive companies, cyclical companies. It's like 1 million of them. How do you gonna know which one of that million to pick? All 1 million of them ain't gonna do well. Guess the one's gonna do well? Whoever Wall Street wants to do well, because they're gonna dump all their money in it, then they're gonna pump in propaganda for that company, and it's gonna go up in value. That's how they win. You and I don't know that though. It's just like you and me trying to pick these companies out of these hundreds of thousands of companies. We're sitting here on our iPhone trying to figure out which one's the winner. It's just hard, guys. I don't have the skill set to do it, so I don't try to do it. I don't care what they do. I know their tricks, so I just stay in the companies that I'm in. Okay, drive it down. That's fine. I'll keep buying the dip. At some point, guys, you can't stop this company because them earnings coming out on August 15th. They're coming out on August 15th. You're not going to be able to stop this company forever. This whole smoke screen with TSMC is just all fake news. These people I think I saw somewhere in that article, they said these people got like a facility that like 6 football fields big. I mean, come on, man. But they don't tell you any of that yesterday in the news cycle, right? Let me go find that article real quick. I could have sworn they said these people had something like, I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Let me just give y'all a little taste, and I'm gonna cover the majority of it this afternoon, but this is just crazy, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy that how they try to manipulate us into believing stuff that ain't true. It's crazy. So here it is. Over the past 4 months, rest of the world spoke with more than 20 current and former TSMC employees from the US and Taiwan at the Arizona plant. See, they got an Arizona plant, guys. But nobody told you that yesterday, did they? Nobody told you that yesterday. Nobody said anything about that yesterday when they dropped the thing for President Trump about Taiwan. Nobody said anything about that big old gigantic plant. Some 2,200 employees now work at TSMC's Arizona plant. 2,200 people work at this plant. You're talking about some cities don't have, some little small towns don't have 2,200 people in it, guys. You got 2,200 people working at a plant in the desert in Arizona. TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, the largest foundry in the world. They make 90-something% of the chips. But nobody tells you they got a plant right there in Phoenix, Arizona, in collaboration with the United States government. I keep telling y'all, man, these 1%, they are something else, dude. They are something else, boy. They are something else. Why is TSMC so important? Because, guys, they produce most of the chips. It's very important. Who controls Taiwan controls the chip market. Why do you think China want to beat them over the head? He who or she who controls Taiwan controls the chips. Why is that important? That's the future. You got to have these chips. I'm telling you, man. So that's the thing, guys. So if the United States didn't allow this company to come to the United States and build this big old gigantic facility with 2,200 employees, how can that be a raggedy relationship with them? Come on, man. This is the propaganda, though, man. This is the propaganda. This is the propaganda. TSMC's facilities are located on the outskirts of northern Phoenix, surrounded by miles of desert hills and wide roads. A glass-walled office building sits next to a massive parking lot with a fountain in the shape of a round silicone round silicone wafer just in front of the facility gates. Next to the office building are the incomplete manufacturing facilities. Check this out. Check this out. The incomplete manufacturing facilities, once complete, the entire complex will cover 1,100 acres, or equivalent to 625 football fields. Didn't drop into that information yesterday, did they? This is the United States now, the collaboration that they got with TSMC. You got a facility going up out in Phoenix, Arizona in the desert, guys. This thing is 1,100 acres, 625 football fields, 2,200 employees. But nobody told you that, did they? They didn't put that in the news feed. No, didn't put that one in the news feed, did they? And why, again, is that important? Because this company produces the most chips in the world. Taiwan produces 90% of the chips in the world, guys. He who controls the chips controls AI. Just saying, man. Just saying. In the 1980s, companies like Intel and Texas Instruments designed and made their own chips. TSMC set out to do something different. Chang's company would focus solely on contract manufacturing. What does that mean? They don't sell to the public. They don't sell to, what they do is they manufacture these chips and they give them to, sell them to companies like Nvidia. And then Nvidia sells them to like the business. So that's what the contract manufacturing. Customers would send designs and engineers in the company's fabrication plants, work to perfect production methods, minimizing the number of defective chips and reduce costs. A model proved as success. All of a sudden, it's really efficient. Meanwhile, chip manufacturing collapsed in the US and Europe and migrated to East Asia, drawn by government incentives. TSMC has grown into a $660 billion giant that has allowed fabless chip designers such as Nvidia and Apple to flourish. Yeah, the company now able to cram more computer power into less space than almost any other chip manufacturer. Samsung and Intel are still trailing behind the Taiwanese company. But we also, Biden administration struck a deal with Samsung. They building a facility out in Texas somewhere. But still, the Taiwanese company, TSMC, is still the 900-pound gorilla. And we actually have a relationship with them in the United States. That's the crazy part that they don't tell you about, right? TSMC is also considered Taiwan's most important company, with Taiwanese people dubbing it a divine mountain that guards the nation. The world's dependence on TSMC, locals reason, could even incentivize the West to defend Taiwan from a potential invasion from China. The loss of Taiwan, and with it TSMC, the thinking goes, would result in a global tech meltdown. Didn't tell you that yesterday, did they? 1% didn't give you all that information, did they? They kept that from you because they knew then you would have kind of put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, okay, this is all fake news. This is them just running down the stock price so they can short it and make money. And then, yeah, this is all just fake news. Because that's what it is. I'm telling you what the relationship is with the United States, with this company. And again, this threat, and again, I'm not picking on President Trump or Biden. I'm just telling this threat of, oh, we ain't gonna protect them. Oh, you gonna protect them. You got no other choice. Because if China gets them, guess what? They control the world because they're gonna control the chips. See, that's all propaganda. And they probably took that comment out of context, dropped it into the news cycle so that they could panic y'all so you could sell. Tell you what, 1%. I'm telling you right here who controls the chip manufacturing in the world. It's Taiwan. TSMC is the biggest benefactor in Taiwan of the chip business. He who controls the chip business controls the world, especially from a financial standpoint, right? Right here, it already tells you the loss of Taiwan and its TSMC, which is the big company. Lose them, we'll have a global tech meltdown. Because y'all already know what China gonna do. You already know if China get them what they gonna do. Because they want to rule the world anyways. What are they gonna do? You think chip prices are high right now? If they can control the chip manufacturing in the world, you think prices are high right now? Oh my goodness, they're gonna be a lot higher if China gets it, right? So let's read on here. Got some other tidbits in here real quick, and then I'm gonna get y'all out of here. That changed in the late 2010s as governments came to realize the geopolitical importance of the semiconductor industry and launched a race to attract chip manufacturing giants. Around 2000, here we go. See, this is what they didn't tell y'all. Check this out. Check this out. Around 2019, the Trump administration started courting TSMC to build a larger and more advanced plant in the US. See, they didn't add that yesterday when they dropped Trump's comments. They didn't add that his administration had been working with this company since 2019, TSMC, to bring a plant to the United States. They didn't mention that yesterday, did they? They just mentioned, oh, they got to pay us to protect them. Didn't mention that, though. I wonder why. I wonder why they didn't put that little bit in there, that the Trump administration had already had a relationship with these people. Why didn't they put that in there? Guys, you got to put two and two together. It's all propaganda to do what? Short these companies' stock so they can make billions of dollars at your expense. That's why. They don't care about you, man. I told y'all the 1% don't care about y'all. They just going to use you and abuse you till you can't earn no more and buy crap that you don't need, and they throw you away. They throw you out the matrix. I'm just telling you. So here we go. Around 2019, the Trump administration started courting TSMC to build a larger and more advanced plant in the US. The pandemic further underscored supply chain weak points. The world has changed, right? And the think tank Center for Strategic and International Studies told the rest of the world, depending on chips from a faraway country on China's doorstep suddenly felt precautious. What was purely from an economics point of view an efficient solution to no longer an efficient solution because of the geopolitics. In May 2020, then U.S. Undersecretary of State announced that TSMC had agreed to open a $12 billion facility in Arizona. This was announced in May of 2020. Nobody put that in the news feed yesterday. Nobody. None of your big stations, none of your big time news outlets put that in there, did they? Didn't want y'all to know that. Told y'all the 1% control the media and they use it to manipulate us and propagandize us. The site would create thousands of jobs, right? Spur cutting edge research and attract more companies on the semiconductor supply chain to move to the US. Chips coming out of the plant were expected to power smartphones, 5G base stations, and advanced F-35 fighter jets. See why these chips are so important, guys? They power fighter jets. Why is that important? National security of our country. This means that chips critical to our lives and national security will once again be made here in America. TSMC's investment, right? TSMC's investment, Crouch later told U.S. media, inspired policymakers to extend incentives to the entire chip industry. And here's where that CHIPS Act came out, guys. So in the summer of 22, the Biden administration passed the CHIPS Act, which designated $53 billion to develop the domestic semiconductor industry. Later that year, TSMC said it would build a second fab at the same site in Phoenix, increasing its total investment to around $40 billion. Despite the commitment from both TSMC and Washington, issues related to exporting a Taiwanese-style work culture in the U.S. swirled from the outset. See what I'm saying? Now you got people on Capitol Hill, oh, we don't want these Taiwanese people coming here and setting up shop and building stuff and having this great life. We don't want that. We want only American workers. And again, guys, you can argue that point, but you're inviting a foreign company to come here. Of course, they're going to want to bring their talent that already knows the setup and already know what they're doing. I'm not saying you don't hire other Americans to go with them, but it makes sense to me. You ain't got a company in the United States can do that. So you got to go outside of the United States and bring a foreign company in here. You can't bring them in here and then say, oh, you only can have U.S. employees in here. I mean, they're great because they got talent over there that they can bring with them to teach our talent, and then let's work together. At least that's my opinion, but you know how it goes, man. When you get to Capitol Hill, it's a whole different story, right? Morris Chang, who retired in 2018 but remains the public face of the company and the godfather of Taiwan's semiconductor industry, cast doubts on the Phoenix initiative. Here's where Nancy Pelosi comes in, guys. I told y'all early in this conversation, Nancy was wrapped all in this thing. I told y'all that. She got 10,000 shares of Nvidia. I told y'all Nancy was wrapped all in this thing. Here's how Nancy gets involved. When Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan in 2022, Chung lectured the House Speaker on the challenges the U.S. would face in mastering the microscopic precision required in chip production. This guy was telling Nancy this in 2022 when she went out there. I told y'all she went out there, guys. Told y'all this lady knows something we don't know. Chang has since also warned against the lack of manufacturing talent in the U.S. and how hard it would be for Taiwanese managers to supervise Americans. See, again, we're having this problem here. We're having this problem. You want us to bring you want us to bring all of our expertise here, but yet and still, you don't want us to bring any of our people that already know how to do all of this. You want us to retrain a whole workforce of people who don't know how to do this. That's the whole reason why y'all don't have no facilities, because don't nobody know how to do it. Chang since has also warned against the lack of manufacturing talent in the U.S. and how hard it would be for Taiwanese managers to supervise Americans. Speaking to the Vying for Talent podcast in April 2022, Chang concluded that the U.S. attempt to onshore semiconductor manufacturing would be a very expensive exercise in futility. And the reason being is because Americans want to give you the money to build a plant, the government does, but then they want you to put all Americans in it to work when the Americans don't have the skill set yet to do that. Maybe one day we will, but right now we don't, or we would already have our own plants doing it and we wouldn't have to go to Taiwan. We could just like kick sand, Taiwan, we don't need y'all. But we can't do that because we don't have the expertise, guys. That's the whole point. We don't have the expertise. So we got to bring in Samsung, who's another foreign company. Samsung ain't based in the U.S. They're a foreign company. So we go get Samsung, they build a facility in Texas. We go get the guys out of Taiwan, they build a facility in the Arizona desert. If we had the skill set, why would we need them? We need them because we don't have the skill set, guys. So the Biden administration can talk about tighten up, export, whatever you want to tighten up. But listen, guys, we don't have the expertise to do that here. If we did, we wouldn't be, trust me, guys, we wouldn't be bringing in these companies from other places. We wouldn't. We just hire an American company, give them the incentive, build your plant, boom, there we go. But we don't have an American company with that type of expertise. That's the reason why we got to go outside and get it, because we don't have it. I'm not saying we won't ever have it, but right now, clearly, we don't have it. In 2021, as construction kicked off in Arizona, TSMC flew Bruce and about 600 American new hires to the southern Taiwanese coastal city of Tainan. I don't know what that is. I can't pronounce that. Tainan. There they spent more than a year training at Fab 18, TSM's most advanced mass production plant. So they brought people over from the US to train them. Upon arriving at the facility, Bruce is one of the people who worked at this facility in Phoenix, and he's given his account to some newspaper or some online blog or whatever it is. He's given his account, right? That's why they keep referencing Bruce. He's one of the people one of the Americans that was an employee there. So Bruce handed in his smartphone and passed through metal detectors. He was in awe of the semiconductor production line, overhead rails carrying wafers from one station to another, while workers in white protective suits kept the machinery running. It really just felt like I was touring some kind of living thing that was greater than humans, that was bigger than us, Bruce recalled. People dead serious over there, man, about these chips, man. But the challenges were immediately apparent, too. At Fab 18, nearly all communication took place in Taiwanese and Mandarin Chinese, the two most widely spoken languages in Taiwan. The Americans felt it difficult to understand meetings, production guidelines, and chatter among local engineers. In theory, every American was supposed to have Taiwanese buddy, a future Arizona worker who would help them navigate the workplace. But the Americans said their buddies were often too busy to help with translation, or else not familiar with enough with the technical processes because they were freshly transferred from other production lines. Guys, this is a beast article. I'm not going to go through it all, but it's a beast. It's a beast article, man. It just goes to show you that the propaganda out here, man, that we go through, it's propaganda at its best. And it walks you through this whole process that we've been engaged with Taiwan since 2019, which started with the Trump administration wanting them to come over here and build a facility. And I know why, because they wanted to bring chip making back to the United States, which I'm okay with. I love the idea. Where we get in the weeds is you have to hire a foreign company to do it. Of course, they're going to want to bring their employees. That's the problem. That's where you're getting into the wrinkle. That's where you're getting into the weeds, right? And that's what this guy, Bruce, he is chronicling in this article, which is a fascinating article. It's just a fascinating article that they never even told you about yesterday when they dropped all those news clips. Nobody ever said anything about the United States is in partnership with Taiwan. And you're in partnership with Taiwan because you're trying to use this largest company in Taiwan, who is the #1 chip foundry, chip maker in the world. Taiwan controls 90% of the chip making. But you don't think that's something that people should have known yesterday when you dropped the rest of this propaganda, right? 1%? Nah, we ain't gonna tell them that part. We're gonna keep that from them. We ain't gonna keep this, we're not gonna even reference this article. We're not gonna even tell them that the United States government has been in partnership with the Taiwanese government since basically 2019. We're not gonna tell them that part. We're just gonna drop this clip that Trump says, in order to protect y'all, we need to get paid. That's the only clip we're gonna drop. We ain't gonna drop the rest of this relationship that we've had with them. Oh, we certainly not gonna drop that TSMC, who they went out of their way to say was declining in stock price, went out of their way to say this company was declining in stock price, but yet and still not one time did they say we have a partnership with them, and they got a 625 football field facility in the desert in Arizona that they got $6 billion in funding from the US government to do. No, they ain't gonna tell us that part. They didn't want to tell us that part. They left that part out. They left that part out. I don't know, guys. What do you think? In late 2022, the employees began migrating from humid southern Taiwan to the desert of northern Phoenix. The group included the Americans as well as hundreds of Taiwanese employees who would help install tools, manage suppliers, prepare the Arizona plant for mass production. For the Taiwanese, many of whom planned for extended stays in Phoenix, that meant relocating their entire families, toddlers and dogs included, to a foreign country. Many regarded it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to explore the world, practice English, send their children to American schools. Younger families planned pregnancies so they could give birth to American citizens. If we are going to have children, of course, we will have them here. A Taiwanese engineer told Rest of the World. That's the people who did this article. As an American citizen, they will have more options than others. To cover the high living costs, TSMC provided the Taiwanese workers with stipend for cars and housing. Some families moved into apartment complexes reserved for employees dubbed TSMC villages. Local schools introduced Mandarin visual aids in classrooms for Taiwanese pupils. A Chinese Baptist church in Phoenix organized English language classes taught by earlier generations of Taiwanese immigrants to help the newcomers settle in. Many experience a culture shock. The bustling cities of Taiwan are densely packed and offer extensive public transportation. There you go, man. It's a great article, guys. We can't cover it all today. I got to get out of here, but if y'all check back in tonight with me, I think I'm gonna cover the whole thing. We're gonna go through it in more detail. I just think, and again, big shout out to Mopar, one of my guys over in the private mentorship club. He dropped this article in the community chat, man. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I got to cover this a little bit this morning with the rate cuts. And so on the back half, I wanted to cover a little bit of that for you guys. If you want the rest of it, check back in tonight. We're going to go through the whole thing. Check back in tonight because it's more to the story, a lot more. I know a lot of you guys on the private mentorship club, you'll already see the article. But if you want my take on it, certainly plug in this afternoon or early evening. Guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Do me a big favor. Get down in the description box. Click on that Moomoo link. Open up your new Moomoo account today. They're going to give you up to 15 free stocks for just trying out their brokerage app. Once you put $100 in your brokerage account initially, you got to put it in when you open the account. You qualify for 5 free stocks. If you put $1,000 initially into your brokerage account when you open it, you qualify for 15 free stocks. Yeah, those are publicly traded companies on one of our stock exchanges here in the United States. 2 are New York Stock Exchange and Chicago Stock Exchange. So they're publicly traded companies, right? So they're going to give you these just to say thank you for opening the new account. And also, you put yourself in a position to be ready to buy paper assets, big boy companies, big boy ETFs, and get ready to get yourself to some wealth, man. These next 10 years are going to be a 10-year golden era. That's what I like to call it, where a lot of wealth will be transferred. Clearly, you see the 1% going to get their piece because they're doing all these crazy things, trying to manipulate you, leaving out important information about companies that they're shorting stock on and driving the stock price down. They're just leaving out important information for you to know. They're not going to tell you that information about this partnership with TSMC and the Taiwanese government. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you about the partnership with Samsung where they're building a big old chip factory in tech. They're not going to tell you that, guys. They don't want you to know that. They want you to think the American government is going to abandon Taiwan and then Nvidia is going to go to zero because Nvidia buys most of their chips from TSMC. See, that's what they want you to think. They want you to think, oh, guys, you better get out of Nvidia because Nvidia going to zero because the United States government is not going to protect Taiwan and then China's going to take them over. And what's going to happen to Nvidia? You better get out. That's the message basically subliminally they sent yesterday. I think I used that word, right? That's the message that they sent yesterday, right? They want to scare you. And the reason they want to scare you is because they want to short the stock. They want the stock price to fall, so they can make a bunch of money shorting the stock. When all along they know we do not have a bad, I mean, obviously we got a 1,100 acre facility in Phoenix, Arizona, partially funded by the United States government, relocated all these workers. It's 2,200 workers will be in that facility when it's done. And it's scheduled to open this year. They didn't tell you that. So all I can tell you, man, is put yourself in position, get that Moomoo account. You can do fractional share trading. You can do automatic investing. You can do automatic investment of your dividends. Nvidia does pay a dividend as well. And again, guys, I'm not trying to tell you what to buy because I'm not a financial advisor and it's not my place to tell you what to buy. I'm just trying to put you in a position so when you do buy some companies, you do buy some ETFs, you got a great brokerage app to use to do it. That's not going to charge you any trading fees. It's going to allow you to do fractional share trading. Many of your big full service brokerage firms will not let you do fractional share trading of individual stocks or ETFs that don't belong to them. Vanguard won't let you do it. You can do fractional shares of ETFs Vanguard owns, but you can't do fractional shares of any individual companies. You can only buy whole shares. So if you are someone that wants to do fractional share trading and you're looking for a good solid brokerage app to do that, it would be Moomoo. Get down in the description box, click on that Moomoo link. They're going to give you up to 15 free stocks. When you put $1,000 in there, they're going to give you 15. If you put $100 in there, they give you 5. Now you're ready to go. You're ready to build some wealth. You're ready to send me an email. If you need help learning how to use the brokerage app, send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Send me an email and say, hey, Richard, I've opened my Moomoo brokerage account. I funded it. Now I need those tutorial videos so I can learn how to use it and get myself out of this propaganda matrix that these people trying to trick me into to not investing so I can always be in the matrix and work for them for the rest of my life. I don't want to do that no more. Send me those tutorial videos for Moomoo so I can start buying me some paper assets. And then send me your wealth transfer blueprint 1.0, 2.0 so I know everything you're buying. That don't mean I got to buy it, but I want to know what you're buying because I rock with you. And you're somebody that I look at on YouTube. Right? So I'll send you all that information, guys, lickety split. Send me the email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Second link down in the description box. Also, if you don't mind, guys, give me a follow on Instagram. That's down in the description box too. Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor is my new Instagram page. Give me a follow. The link's down in the description box. So just click on that link. It'll take you over to Instagram and give me a follow and then send me a DM to let me know you're rocking with me so I can say thank you. Well, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. Last thing, don't forget about the website. Make sure you get to the website, second link. Check out those digital products. They can help you out, guys. They can collapse time frames and get you to your freedom. Try them out. Hundreds of people have already. Hundreds of people have already did it. So please try that out. And also consider joining the fastest growing financial community on Patreon. That would belong to your boy, Richard Fain. I'm the creator of it, but it really belongs to all my 750 club members, community members over the last 3 months who have joined. It belongs to them. I'm just a creator. I'm just a guy that's over there participating, but really it belongs to them. And they've taken a hold of that thing. Where do you think I got this article from? Like I told y'all, Mopar, one of my guys over there, this is the kind of stuff get dropped in there all the time, guys. I keep telling y'all, I don't know everything. I can't be everywhere. I can't see everything. I depend on my club, my community to help me, educate me. This educated me. Even though I knew it was a propaganda, I didn't know how deep it went until I read this article this morning. Then I knew, oh my God. I'd have never found that article if Mopar wouldn't have put it in the community chat. So Mopar, thank you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. for doing what you do over in the community and the rest of my community members. I appreciate all of them, all 750 of them. I appreciate them. So if you want to be in the fastest growing financial community on the internet, on Patreon, sign up. Go through my website. There's a membership button there. There's a join button. Click on it. Get yourself immersed in this thing, man. Get yourself out of this matrix, guys. I'm telling you, please get out of this matrix. These people are full of manipulation and propagandizing you. They got you selling stuff and thinking you're going to lose everything and the world's caving in on you, when all along they know that's a lie. All along, we got relationships with Taiwan. We got factories being built here. Didn't tell you none of that, did they? That's how it go. That's how it go, man. So, hey, let's do one more temperature check on the video. Let's see what it's doing. See if it's on sale still. Oh, it's at 119.28, slightly in the green. So it's bouncing. And again, guys, it's going to bounce like that until we get to the earnings, man. Once that earnings report hit on August 15th, all of this changes. All of that changes. And these short sellers know it. They're going to pound this thing, drop propaganda, lie, do whatever they can to drive the stock price down to get rich. What we got to do, though, is understand that. And if we feel like this company is something that we want to invest in for long-term wealth building, buy the dip. That's what I believe. It's going to help my wealth long-term. That's why I bought 3,650 shares yesterday. And I'm willing to buy more today if it gets down to a price that I feel like I want to buy more. Right? Right now, it's at, it was down to 116, but I'm more, it got to be below 115 for me to jump on it again. I jumped on as much as I could yesterday. If it gets below $115 a share, I'm going to buy another 1,700 shares. And at that point, I'm going to have 10,000 shares. I'm all in, and I'm just going to wait until the earnings report come out on August 15th. And I'm going to wait till the Fed start reducing rates, whether that be in July, September. They're definitely going to reduce in September. They may not do it in July, but they're going to do it in September. I'm just going to keep waiting on them catalysts, man, and keep watching this thing run up, because you can't stop artificial intelligence, guys. You can't. And again, the 1% ain't trying to stop it. They're just trying to manipulate it and make money because they can. They know this stock right now is vulnerable. It doesn't have a catalyst until this earnings report comes out. So they can manipulate it right now. And that's what they're doing. They can manipulate it because they know no earnings report is coming out until August 15th, or at least till the end of this month. Once 7/31/2024 hits, you're going to see the pressure off of this stock ease up. Because now they're going to start leaking some of the report about their revenue and their profit and their gross profit margin. They're going to start leaking that stuff. And once you get those numbers, you just can't justify shorting it like that. You can't justify it, man. So right now, they're going to short it. They're going to propagandize you. Your goal has to be, or at least my goal is to buy, because I know it's not business performance. It's all market manipulation. It's all market behavior, market manipulation. Has nothing to do with the company and what they can do. And the whole thing about Taiwan, all market manipulation, all market behavior. These people know good doggone well the United States government already got a relationship with Taiwan. Now, why in the hell would you turn your back on Taiwan when they produce 90% of all the chips in the world? And you already done went on record saying who controls chips, controls AI, controls technology, controls the world. It will be a global meltdown if China gets the chips. So, but now you're going to come back and say, oh, they got to pay us to protect them, when you know dang on well we ain't got no other choice but to protect them. What you going to do, let China get it? I tell you, man, this propaganda is something else, boy. Y'all got to watch them. Y'all got to watch them. Thank you to my membership club for watching them and educating me today, because I didn't know this. Thank you, membership club. Thank you, Mopar. Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. More this afternoon, early evening in my second live stream. I'll be back a little later on. Hope you guys join me. Like I said, get down in the description box. Help me out. Check out the links. Check out the Moomoo link. Check out the website link. Check out the Instagram link. And if you feel like you want to take advantage of those offers, take advantage of them, guys. Especially that free money, that free stock from Moomoo. Put yourself in a position to win and win big. Why not? And I'm going to help you learn how to use the app. So can't beat that, right? Appreciate y'all, man. Do something nice for yourself. Do something nice for somebody else. I look forward to seeing whoever want to see me, a double dose of me this afternoon, early evening. Look forward to seeing you. If not, see you back here tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out of here. Do me that big favor. Lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out of here, if you appreciate the content. Thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all just don't know how much you've changed my life for the better. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be able to do something that I'm passionate about and brings a lot of purpose to my life. Thank you. Appreciate y'all for that. Thoughts become things. See it in the mind. Hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.